The sun was blazing hotter than ever before, turning the sky into a furnace of gold and orange. The city shimmered under the extreme heat, its streets looking almost deserted. Tourists still braved the hot sidewalks, their hats and sunglasses adding a stylish flair to the scene. Among them, Clara, an adventurous traveler, smiled despite the heat, ready to explore. "This weather won't stop me from having the best day," she said, wiping sweat from her brow. She checked her map and decided to visit the famous canyon just outside the city. Her taxi ride took her through streets lined with palm trees, waving gently in the scorching wind. As the vehicle sped past, the heat seemed to melt the landscape into a mirage. Clara's excitement grew as they neared the canyon, her love for adventure overcoming the weather. The driver warned her, "It's hotter out there than you can imagine. Stay hydrated." She smiled, adjusting her sun hat, and stepped out onto the dry, cracked earth. The canyon was breathtaking, its deep red walls glowing under the fierce sun. Sweat dripped down her face, but Clara only felt the thrill of standing in such a majestic place. Tourists around her snapped photos, their smiles unbothered by the heat wave. Clara pulled out her camera and captured the scene, the harsh sun adding drama to the photos. A group of hikers passed by, their backpacks filled with water and snacks. "Mind if I join you?" Clara asked, and they welcomed her with friendly smiles. They began the hike into the canyon, the heat making every step a challenge. Clara could feel her skin burning under the sun's relentless rays, but she pressed on. The deeper they went, the more stunning the canyon became, with rocks shaped by time and nature. "This is why I love to travel," Clara thought. "Even the hottest day can bring the most beautiful moments." The canyon seemed to hold secrets in its shadows, cool spots hidden among the towering cliffs. The group paused to rest in one of these shaded areas, the temperature dropping slightly. Clara took a long sip of water, feeling it cool her from the inside out. One of the hikers, a local, shared stories about the canyon's history and mysterious past. "They say on days like this, you can hear the whispers of the earth," he said with a wink. Clara laughed, loving the magical feeling the canyon seemed to give off. After the rest, they continued their journey deeper into the heart of the canyon. The heat was intense, but the sights made every step worth it. As they walked, Clara noticed tiny, resilient plants growing between the rocks. "Even in this extreme weather, life finds a way," she thought, inspired by their strength. The canyon opened up to a large clearing, with a stunning view of the mountains beyond. The tourists stood in awe, the beauty of the scene making them forget the blistering heat. Clara felt a rush of joy, the kind that only comes from conquering a challenge. "This heat can't stop us," she thought, smiling to herself. One of the hikers started to climb a nearby rock, offering a better view. Clara followed, her muscles aching from the effort, but her spirit soaring. At the top, the wind offered some relief from the heat, cooling her face. The view was even more spectacular from above, the canyon stretching out like a masterpiece. Clara snapped more photos, determined to capture every moment of this incredible day. The other tourists cheered and took turns climbing, each amazed by the vista. "I'll never forget this," Clara whispered, the moment forever etched in her memory. They all sat down, basking in the beauty around them, sharing stories and laughter. The sun began to lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the canyon. Clara realized how fast the day had passed, despite the extreme heat. The colors of the canyon changed, turning soft pinks and purples as the day turned to evening. "It's even more beautiful now," one of the hikers said, and everyone nodded in agreement. As they made their way back, the heat finally began to ease, but the memories remained strong. Clara felt a deep sense of accomplishment, knowing she had conquered both the weather and the canyon. Every moment was worth it, she thought, reflecting on the day. Back at the entrance, the tourists parted ways, exchanging goodbyes and promises to meet again. Clara waved at her new friends, grateful for the unexpected companionship. She climbed into her taxi, exhausted but full of satisfaction. The driver asked how her adventure went, and Clara replied, "Unforgettable." The city lights twinkled as they drove back, the evening bringing a slight coolness to the air. Clara leaned back in her seat, thinking about how the extreme weather had made the experience even more special. Sometimes, the toughest conditions led to the most beautiful moments, she thought. She knew this day would inspire her for the rest of her travels. The city came into view, glowing under the twilight sky. Clara decided to treat herself to a cool drink and a quiet evening by the pool. The hotel lobby was buzzing with tourists discussing their own adventures. Clara smiled, feeling a part of something larger, a community of travelers undeterred by the elements. She ordered a lemonade and took a seat by the pool, the cool water inviting after such a hot day. The stars began to twinkle above, a reminder of how vast and beautiful the world is. Clara took a deep breath, feeling at peace, her heart full from the day's experiences. "I did it," she whispered to herself, feeling proud. The heat, the canyon, the challenge, it all added up to something incredible. As she sipped her drink, she thought about the other places she still wanted to visit. "No matter the weather, I'll keep going," Clara promised herself. The pool water sparkled under the lights, a cool contrast to the heat of the day. Clara leaned back, letting the sounds of the evening wash over her. The wind had picked up, offering a gentle breeze that soothed her sunburnt skin. She watched as other tourists jumped into the pool, laughing and enjoying the night. "This is what life is about," Clara thought. Adventure, beauty, and the moments that take your breath away. The day had been tough, but the reward was greater than she could have imagined. She pulled out her journal and began to write, capturing every detail of her adventure. Each word felt like a treasure, a reminder of the strength she had found within herself. "I'll never forget today," she wrote, smiling as she remembered the hike, the heat, and the canyon. The evening breeze made her shiver slightly, a welcome change from the intense heat of the day. Clara closed her journal and stood up, ready to head to her room. She took one last look at the night sky, feeling grateful for the day. The stars twinkled brightly, as if celebrating her victory over the weather. As she walked back to her room, Clara felt a sense of calm and fulfillment. The extreme heat had pushed her to her limits, but she had come out stronger. She knew that this experience would stay with her forever, a story to tell for years to come. Clara smiled to herself as she opened the door to her hotel room. The air conditioning greeted her with a cool blast, a luxury after such a hot day. She stretched out on the bed, her body tired but her mind still buzzing with excitement. Tomorrow's a new day, Clara thought, already thinking about her next adventure. The heat outside didn't matter anymore, she had learned how to thrive in it. As she drifted off to sleep, Clara dreamed of canyons, heat waves, and the beauty of the world. The sun would rise again tomorrow, but she knew she was ready for whatever it brought. Her spirit was stronger than the weather, and her love for adventure would always win. "I am unstoppable," Clara thought, her final thought before sleep took over. The world outside may be hot, but inside, Clara's heart was full of cool, calm determination. She smiled in her sleep, dreaming of the next place she would conquer. The heat wave had become part of her story, but it would never be a limit. For Clara, every challenge was just a step towards something even more beautiful. And as the stars twinkled over the city, Her adventure was far from over. Tomorrow would bring new moments, and Clara was ready for them all.